now that you had a chance to come in and talk with the coaching staff, kind of what's the plan going forward? You know, like I think Brandon said, or Sean once said yesterday, you'll probably start off at right tackle, I believe. You know, have you kind of already started talking about things like that?
Yeah, so we been meeting with the coaches all day, and the plan right now is to start off at right tackle.
So there was, we saw it, I guess, on TV last night. After you did your conference call with us here, you referenced, there was a reference to an interview done back in Norman where you said something about wanting to play for Buffalo, and then, but we didn't get an explanation. Can you get into why the Bills, this was a team you wanted to play?
Yeah, so one of the local reporters came up to me, and he was like asking me about the process and things, and he asked like which team I thought was going to be the best fit and where I wanted to play, and I told him I was like, I really want to go to Buffalo, and he was like, nobody wants to go to Buffalo, and I was like, I just feel it right now. You know, me and the O-line coach really hit it off. We had multiple meetings between the combine and pro day. It was just great interaction with him, and I could just see this program is headed in the right direction.
Can you get into just a little more of that? I mean, some of the things he maybe told you or heard that really struck a good chord with you?
Mainly his coaching style kind of resembles the coaching style I've been used to, and what he expects from his players is kind of what I bring to the table, and just the family atmosphere here is kind of what really made me be like I want to go to Buffalo.
What about, I remember on the conference call you said you didn't realize that they've added so many offensive linemen in free agency. What are the challenges of you stepping into a room that has, in which you're one of 14 guys?
So yeah, we actually just talked about that. Him bringing in some good amount of people, and one thing he mentioned was that I wouldn't be just the oddball since some of them are new, and then some of them are still here. So he was like, "You're coming into a great situation, being that you won't just stand out amongst the crowd."
Coach, you mentioned that coaching saw some similarities from Coach Beatenbaugh. Anything in particular?
So I know back home, and Coach Beanbo expects every player to bring their best effort, always fight for everything, and make sure that everything you get is earned and not given. And that was the biggest things that I saw in Coach Johnson.
Hey, you blocked back-to-back years for Heisman Trophy winners and then #1 overall picks. Can you share a couple thoughts on Baker and Kyler, what that was like for an offensive lineman to block for those two guys?
So like I said multiple times, you know, both those guys are great competitors, great leaders, and great teammates. They're both loyal to their offensive line. They're both loyal to their team. They expect every game to go down as a dogfight, and they like to be in a dogfight. They don't like anything to just come easy. They like challenges. I know a lot of people kind of put this image on Kyler as he's not a leader, he's not this, that, and the other, but the guy's such a great leader. You know, if he was there next year, he would probably be a team captain. He would always have my vote.
I don't know how much you know about Josh Allen, but he's a guy who certainly has the athleticism, the movability to make and create things. But you were with two of the really top creative quarterbacks at the college level. Do you feel that there's something as a lineman that is helpful with that in terms of knowing that, knowing how to block for guys who are going to go off script a lot?
So yeah, knowing how Kyler and Baker like to move around in the pocket, I feel like it gives me a little jump on how I can plan the block on for Josh going on in the future.
Hey, they said that you play tackle, obviously, but there's some people that say maybe you move inside in the pros. What's your thought on people who think that maybe you're better suited to be inside? Do you feel you're better suited outside, or what's your thought?
For me, it's all about proving myself and proving to people what I can do. So for Buffalo, allowing me to start off at right tackle, giving me a chance to prove myself and prove my athleticism and everything I can do at the tackle position to everybody else is a great honor. And then if need be, if they need me inside, then I'll move inside because I'm here to win football games.
Cody, do you kind of laugh a little bit though when you see like some of these scouting reports that sort of take it upon themselves to list you as a guard? I mean, after, you know, the career that you put together at tackle?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really laugh at it. I read it, I hear it out, but obviously my whole last season was all tackle. I don't see what there was not to see about me playing that position that still holds me or limits me to a guard. You know, so a lot of them say because of the conference I was in, but playing in the Big 12 to me is no different than playing in the SEC. The Big 12 is just another conference. You know, the conference doesn't make the players, in my opinion.
Brandon Beane said last night that there was even discussion about potentially getting up into the bottom of the first round to draft you. When you hear that, obviously, you know, what does that make you feel? You know, it's obviously a compliment to your abilities.
It shows me how much faith they have in me and how much belief they have in me to, you know, almost make that jump and go back into the first round and come get me.
Cody, you mentioned that at Oklahoma, the fact that you kind of came up with that group really contributed to your great chemistry that you guys built. Kind of the same situation here with the load of offensive linemen that the Bills have brought in. Do you look at that as kind of the same situation, that you guys have the opportunity to kind of come up together and build that chemistry from start to finish?
I definitely do. I actually thought about that after the question yesterday. I was like, this is kind of a good situation, you know, being able to come in with guys who are fresh to the system, just like me, will kind of put us at a great opportunity to learn together and build together.
Cody, what did you, going back to 2016, when you finally get a chance to start, what did you learn from yourself in rehabbing from that injury and how you, and then see how you bounced back from it?
The biggest thing I learned was, you know, take every snap. Don't take every snap for granted. You never know when something can go wrong in the blink of an eye. You know, I had no anticipation of getting hurt that game. I mean, I'm sure everybody who gets hurt doesn't plan on getting hurt. So, you know, after rehab and going through rehab, I was just like, from now on, every snap, I'm going to just give it my all because you never know what can happen next.
You got four players drafted, you know, on the O-line. I mean, you know, what is, I don't know if that's a first, but it doesn't happen too much. You know, just what do you think about playing on that? You know, did you guys feel like you had something special this year, and what does that do for you playing with that much talent?
We definitely did something special. That group that we had there last season was so amazing. Even the guys who were not drafted this year, the guys who are still there, and the guys who were there before us had so much to contribute to the last year's group. So that group last year, you know, Drew, Ben, Bobby, and myself, we all just got drafted. All that's thanks to our O-line coach and our head coach, Coach Riley, Coach Beatonbow, and even Coach Stoops, you know, for bringing us in the first place. Without them, that group doesn't exist. Without them, you know, we're not here where we are today. We have so much to be thankful for when it comes to them and our careers, especially Coach Beatonbow. He invested so much time in us and so much belief in us that, you know, we owe it to him. Everything that we get is basically because of him. I mean, we had to do the work, but we had to follow a guide, and he gave us that guide.
The shift to tackle this year after playing guard, I mean, it seemed pretty smooth transition. I mean, where you did it, was it as smooth? Did it feel as smooth as it was? I mean, did you have any, like, when they told you, look, you know, we're putting our 5 best out there, and so we need you to play tackle? Were you not worried about it? Did you have any doubts about it, you know?
I was a little worried, mainly because, you know, I was going from guard to tackle, and I felt like early on it was going to be struggles with certain things as far as just techniques and, you know, going up against a different kind of a player as opposed to being on the inside. But once because I made the move in the spring, and that was when the struggles really showed up, especially day one. But going through the summer and then we get to fall camp, everything felt normal. I felt like that was the right move for me and the best move at the time.
What was your most, what would you say is most memorable game at Oklahoma?
For me, I would probably say definitely winning that fourth Big 12 championship. We played Texas round 2. They beat us in Dallas round 1. They kind of got away with that win. They didn't really do too much in that game, I feel like. But winning that fourth ring, beating the team who beat you earlier in the season feels so amazing.
How about the plant flag game? I mean, you played that whole game, right?
No, so actually I
Started.
started that game and then got a concussion midway through.
Cody, Frank Gore started his career when you were 8 years old, I believe, doing the math with Sean McCoy when you were about 12. Like, what do you remember about watching them and knowing now that you're going to be blocking for both these guys who could be in the Hall of Fame someday?
Yeah, so when I was taking my tour of the facilities, I was in the locker room, and then I looked to the right, and there's Frank Gore's locker, and I was like, that's crazy. I remember, playing on the video games with him, watching him grow up, and hearing his name all my life, and then to finally be on the team with him is just so surreal at this moment.
Cody, did you talk to Kyler at all leading up to the draft, and if so, did you get a feel for how anxious he was to be selected as the number 1 overall pick?
So we talked very, very seldomly leading up to the draft. Never about what was going to happen. Never about what he expected to happen in the draft. And more so just wishing each other good luck. Just normal conversations that we would have had if we were still at Oklahoma.